Hi there YouTube, this is the Magnus bringing you another Total War Warhammer online ladder battle. This time my opponent chose the Empire and I decided to go with Bretonnia. Now I brought my standard Bretonnia build, which you guys have seen many times. A little bit adjusted, 3 spearmen, 5 polearm, 4 bowmen, 2 Pegasus knights, 2 of the paladins, King Louen Leoncour, and 1 damsel for her buff. And this time I brought Wind Blast instead of the buff, and I actually just brought the debuff. I can't remember the name of it, and I apologize for that. Taking a look at my opponent's army, up front he has 4 spearmen, and behind them 2 flagellants, and in the very back he has 2 halberdiers. So kind of light on the infantry, very heavy on the handgunners though. Here he goes with 4, and I'm guessing that's because he wants to win the battle for the air, which definitely makes sense, which also explains the light wizard, who with the net can definitely swing things in the air. He's got 2 Empire captains, and he also has Karl Franz. So we're looking at the King versus the Emperor. Now I deployed with a single front line, my bowman behind, the damsel in the center, and then 1 flying corps here with my paladins and my king, and I forward or vanguard deployed my Pegasus knights so I could get a view on his army right away. So knowing that he has all of these handgunners, I don't want to go over there to have an air battle. I would much prefer he comes to me where all of my bowmen are. So I pull back to see if he's going to react to that. Now he's no fool, so he's going to sit back. So we're going to have a bit of a staring contest here for just a second while I get things deployed how I want. And then I'm going to start to push a little bit to see if I can't force the action. Now I have the advantage of terrain, so I can understand him not wanting to push. I generally will hold back and force my opponent to do the same if I draw the short end of the stick on this map. So I start to move forward, he starts to rearrange his forces here a little bit, and he's going to move up too. So it looks like at this point I'm thinking he's going to meet me in the middle. Now the real key is going to be when our missile units are in range, and what does that cause to happen. So you can see I keep shifting my flying forces around to see how he reacts, and then I notice he's bringing his flying contingent this way, and that makes me a little uncomfortable, but he's far enough away that I'm not going to react right yet. Now you can see my bowmen are getting into range, and my goal is going to be to kind of focus fire on his missiles as soon as I get the chance. So I put my bowman out front of my infantry line, trying to draw him in, and that certainly gets things started. And he sends his flying corps this way. I react. I'm going to try to intercept, and I'm going to continue to focus fire on this 1 handgunner because I feel the missiles are going to determine the flying war, and those 2 contingents of the battle together are going to determine who wins this battle. I don't think it's going to come down to the infantry because I have quite poor infantry, being Bretonnia, cost effective but not good, and he went with some pretty cheap infantry himself. So here we have a giant flying blob fight. He's got his missiles firing into my flyers, and I decide to keep my missiles firing at his missiles. So we've already routed 1 of the handgunners, and we've got some spells and effects going down. Stand your ground. I use the Sword of Corone. The net goes down. Generally, the net is definitely going to help you with flyers, but you don't want to use it when everybody's already blobbed up. You want to use it before that so you can isolate and defeat. So as you can see, my bowmen are picking apart these handgunners. Our infantry lines are just kind of standing here staring at each other, and I'm okay with that because I don't want to be the one to engage if I can avoid it. I want to use my charge defense, but at the same time, if I lull him into a sleep here, I can get a charge without a counter charge, and that would be fine. So I've got the damsel back here. I've been using some wind blast here, so you can't really see it. You didn't see it, but you can see some of the damage, but that's going to be a big part of my plan here. So and I'm sorry I missed it here, but I believe, oh, there it is. Down goes the Emperor. The King is victorious over him. and that's a big shift in things. I pull the king back because he takes a savage beating at the hands of the handgunners. I send some of my Pegasus Knights and my Paladin in to kind of disrupt his missiles. He reacts with the Halberdiers, a good choice. I'm going to let these guys fight it out with the Empire Captain. There went another wind blast from the damsel. She hasn't gotten any kills, but you can see the damage was considerable to them. Damage sustained -30 penalty, and they lost a lot of health. I like the wind blast. I think I'm going to be using it a good bit more. I think it's a good way to use the extra mana that you end up with when you're playing the damsel in the field, and gives her an additional threat. So down goes another flyer. I believe that was one of the Pegasus guys. So it's just right now it's all about shooting and air superiority. I'm shooting at his light wizard right now because I'm sick of the net and I don't want him to have that advantage. He's chasing off one of my paladins here and another down here, which is hilarious that a light wizard is chasing off a paladin, but that's because he has this missile support. So realistically, after I killed the Emperor, I probably should have pulled back, but we'll see if I get away with it. As you can see from the wind blast here, they're badly damaged. These guys are badly damaged as well. She's even recorded 7 kills, the damsel. And now I'm going to start to focus fire on his infantry, and I'm going to charge him. Now, since I have a broader line, I'm going to swing these guys out so they can come across the line, and everybody else is just going to go out and attack exactly what's in front of them. Now, his missiles have been all but shredded. They're very weak at this point, so I feel pretty good. Now, they're going to fire into these guys, but they're going to quickly make a move here towards his infantry line, while my bowmen continue to fire down on these handgunners, and they just evaporate. They just cannot handle this kind of missile damage. They're just absolutely decimated. So he's trying to commit some of his infantry here. As you can see, the balance bar is still pretty tight, but it's going in my favor for sure. I'm going to use the king to come in and get some rear charge action on his line. Really love the splash damage that you get out of Beke, his flying mount. I know there's many ways to pronounce that, but that's the one I like. Now his light wizard is getting focus fired, absolutely demolished. My huge infantry spam has crushed the right side, and now is wrapping in on him. And the only thing he has left that hasn't given up is these spearmen, who are sure to do so very shortly, and the flagellants, who are unbreakable. So you can see winning that missile fight allowed me to win the air battle. I kept the king alive, he lost his emperor, and then that allowed for a very quick and decisive victory as far as infantry, because my missiles were able to pick them apart, as well as what remaining heroes he had, and then the infantry just came in and dealt with them. And the whole time that's going on, the damsel is sitting there casting that wind blast, just softening up his infantry that's waiting to get engaged, and by the time they did, there wasn't much of them left. So let's take a look at the tail of the tape. What's going to jump out at you right away is the peasant bowmen. They absolutely annihilated the handgunners and got some other kills elsewhere. The Pegasus Knights, as usual, didn't do that great, but the fact that they allowed me to win that air war is just huge. So a lot of times their value isn't in their kills, it's in their shock value, disruption, and their ability to help turn the fighting in the air into your favor. Paladins did fine. Damsel was really cool. I like the wind blast. I've been testing it, and I think it's got potential. The king did his job. The emperor fell without being able to kill anything. His heroes, definitely the light wizard was a great choice. It's a good counter to flying spam. It was a very good game by my opponent, but if I had a little advice for him, it would be to use that net before my flyers are all on your onto your flyers. Like, use it to freeze them and then pick them apart one by one, and this battle could have gone very differently. His infantry and his missiles were pretty lackluster, though the handgunners did get good kills and damage into my flying. So it was definitely an interesting battle. I feel, and I practically know, that Bretonnia is not as strong as the Empire, but that doesn't mean you can't win with a good composition, good tactics. It's always a fun matchup for me. It's one of my favorite, actually. So anyways, if you enjoyed the video or you learned anything, please like, please subscribe. We're almost to 200 subscribers. That's pretty darn exciting. And today, tomorrow, I may have another exciting announcement. I'm working on something that I think is going to be really cool. So keep your ears pricked for that. Also, I just want to say thank you to everybody that's supported me so far. You guys are awesome. You watch my videos. I love the comments. Like, we have some seriously good gamers in here. You've helped me build a lot of these armies, and I do appreciate that. Anyways, until the next time, this is the Magnus. Thanks, and take care.